In the Power universe, survival is treated like a math equation. The smartest characters believe that if they calculate enough moves ahead, they can outrun the gravity of the streets. James St. Patrick spent 2 decades doing the math. Bespoke suits, corporate restructuring, legitimate businesses built like fortresses, brick by brick, to wall off the blood on his hands. He died anyway, shot by his own son, in the cleanest room he owned. Kanan Stark was a master of psychological warfare. He weaponized trauma. He understood the darkest corners of the human mind better than anyone alive. He died in a gutter, behind a stolen police car, riddled with bullets. And then there's Tommy Egan. On paper, Tommy makes no sense. He's impulsive, volatile. He wears his rage on his sleeve like a name tag. By every rule of the crime drama genre, Tommy should have died in season 1, a cautionary tale about letting your temper run your business. Instead, he's still standing, still running an empire, on his own terms. So how did the dumb muscle outlive the chess masters? The answer is a concept from behavioral psychology called radical self-acceptance. While every other kingpin tore themselves apart trying to reconcile who they were with who they wanted to be, Tommy never had that war. He looked into the abyss, recognized the monster staring back, and optimized it. Today, we're doing a psychological autopsy on Tommy Egan. We're gonna find out how the total destruction of every human bond in his life turned him into the most dangerous predator in television. To understand a predator, you don't study the kill. You study the cage he grew up in. Tommy Egan didn't have a childhood. He had a masterclass in psychological chaos, taught by a single, unstable professor, his mother, Kate Egan. In clinical psychology, growing up with an erratic, addicted parent creates what's called an anxious ambivalent attachment style. Kate was a walking contradiction. One moment abandoning Tommy to chase his next high, the next moment clinging to him like he was the adult in the room. When the rules of your house change hour to hour based on whether your mother is high or sober, your brain adapts. You become hyper-aware of every shift in energy, every flicker of mood, and you become desperate, starved, for one thing that never changes. Tommy found that one thing in 2 places, James St. Patrick and the street code. When Ghost walked into Tommy's life, he didn't just become a friend, he became a surrogate brain. Ghost brought the structure, the boundaries, the long-game thinking that Kate never could. Tommy essentially outsourced his future to Ghost. But here's the catch. Tommy never had anyone to teach him morality. So he adopted the omerta, the street code, not as a business strategy, as a religion. To Tommy, the code is gospel. You don't snitch. You don't leave your people behind. You don't lie to family. Period. And that's the central tragedy of early power. Tommy genuinely believes he and Ghost are praying at the same altar. He has no idea that while Tommy is living the code, Ghost is just using it. Scaffolding. Something to climb on until he's high enough to kick away and disappear into legitimacy. Tommy's biggest weakness in those early seasons wasn't his temper. It was codependence. Looking at a world built on betrayal and shifting alliances through a lens of absolute, unbreakable loyalty. And in the underworld, rigidity doesn't protect you. It marks you for death. Every great character arc needs a crucible. A moment where the core flaw gets pushed past its breaking point, forcing either total collapse or a complete rewrite of who that person is. For Tommy, that crucible had a name: Holly Weaver. Holly was the first person who saw the truth Tommy couldn't. That Ghost wasn't his brother. Ghost was using him. A shield. A fall guy with a heartbeat. So Holly tried to set Tommy free by putting a hit on Ghost, behind Tommy's back. Tommy doesn't kill Holly because he hates her. He kills her because her betrayal forces a head-on collision between the only two things holding his identity together: his love for her and his religion, the Code. And in that split second, the Code wins. Then Ghost walks in and delivers the gut punch. Holly was pregnant. This is Tommy's psychological event horizon. The punishment for his loyalty to Ghost is the accidental murder of his own child, and the only woman who ever loved him without an angle. A weaker man breaks here, turns himself in, eats a bullet, shuts down completely. But watch what Tommy does instead. He doesn't process it. He compartmentalizes. He takes the grief, the guilt, the horror, and locks it behind a door in his mind that never opens again. From this moment forward, Tommy operates on one core belief: emotional vulnerability is malware. It's a virus that crashes the system, and he's never letting it back in. Holly's death wasn't just a loss, it was surgery. Tommy had his own heart removed, and in doing so, he removed the one thing his enemies could ever use to control him. If Holly's death amputated Tommy's ability to love, the Tony Teresi arc destroyed something even deeper: his sense of who he actually was. Tommy spent his whole life as an outsider, a white kid raised inside a black criminal world, with no father, and a mother who was barely present even when she was in the room. Then Tony Teresi shows up, old-school Italian mob royalty, and he says 4 words Tommy's been waiting his entire life to hear: "You are my son." For the second time in his life, Tommy lowers his guard completely. He takes the name. He builds the fantasy. He finally knows where he comes from. And then, right on schedule, the betrayal arrives. Teresi flips, cuts a deal, sells Tommy out to save himself. Compare this to Holly's death. That was chaos, an explosion. This is silence. This is surgical. Tommy drives his father to a quiet spot, lets him talk, and ends it without his breathing changing once. This is the final evolution of the sovereign predator. By executing his own blood for breaking the code, Tommy makes his position permanent. The rules of his world matter more than biology, more than family, more than anything that used to define him. By the final season, Tommy Egan has been completely hollowed out. His woman, dead by his hand. His father, dead by his hand. His brother, Ghost, has lied to him one too many times. And when Ghost finally dies, it's not a tragedy for Tommy. It's liberation. The last anchor keeping him tethered to New York, to the past, to playing second, is gone. Tommy Egan is finally, completely alone. And for a predator, alone means there's nothing left to protect, which means there's nothing left for anyone to use against you. Most spin-offs fail because they just repeat the original show with new faces. Force works because it shows us the final form, the fully evolved Tommy Egan. He lands in Chicago with nothing. No connections, no territory, no idea how the local politics work. The old Tommy, the ghost-dependent Tommy, would have been dead in a month. Old Ghost would have spent 3 weeks mapping it out. Shell companies, proxy meetings, a whole strategy deck before a single move. Tommy skips all of it. He goes straight to disruption. Tommy survives Chicago because he understands something everyone else in this universe refuses to accept. In chaos, speed and certainty beat planning, every time. The Flynns are stuck in their own bureaucracy and family drama. The CBI is split by old turf wars. And Tommy has zero friction. No board to answer to, no family left to protect, no image to manage. This is where radical self-acceptance becomes a weapon worth millions. Ghost failed because he was trying to be two people, the clean businessman and the killer. And that split caused hesitation. He second-guessed moves because of what they do to his image, his future, his political ambitions. Tommy has no wag. None. He knows exactly what he is. If the door's locked, he doesn't pick it. He drives the Mustang through the wall. He's fused Ghost's cold, strategic mind with his own raw instinct for violence. And the result isn't a weapon anymore. It's the hand holding the weapon. Every kingpin in TV history wants an exit. Walter White wanted a legacy. Stringer Bell wanted legitimacy. Tony Soprano wanted peace of mind. Ghost wanted out entirely. They all failed. Because every single one of them was lying about what they were. They wanted the rewards of the jungle without admitting they were wolves. Subscribe for more psychological breakdowns of your favorite anti-heroes. Drop a comment. Could Ghost have survived if he stayed partners with Tommy?